done with the movie, before you go, well, just a short one with them.
Okay.
That way people can respond.
We'll see if we can do it here then. You guys are
Oh,
doing
okay.
it.
Yeah, I see. You saying just do it.
Hi guys! I already started recording.
Oh.
Yeah. So, Hubby and I have recently seen Black Panther, and I thought I would kind of do a little review in a way of how we felt about it, since a lot of people have been so super hyped and so ridiculously excited about seeing the movie. And we're really excited about seeing it too. So, I thought we would talk about it. Hubby's still tired.
Yep.
He's going to be very blasé.
Blasé.
Yes, it's a thing.
What word is blasé?
It means like blah, but it's like fancier.
You can't just
Don't-
slap "zay" on the end
Don't
of a word
judge
to make
me.
it sound
It's a
fancy.
word. It's a word. We can look it up later. Point being is Hubby's not going to be all there, even though he's not all there anyway.
Sure.
So, Ian, how do you feel about the movie?
Oh, I love it.
Any other thoughts other than love?
I mean, do you want me to do my usual critiquing rant of the fact being that the CGI that they were able to put in the movie has been getting better and better every time they've released a new Marvel movie? How the fight scenes were very reminiscent to what you'd expect from a decent action movie, but not played out so terribly like in a lot of the older ones that they used to do. How they had comedy in the movie that you wouldn't expect there to be, but it played and flowed so well that you wouldn't have complained. It wasn't like Star Wars.
It's still better.
Or how the characters each had their own unique personalities that were pulled out and actually explained in depth ways without even having them have so much on-screen time. I mean, you've got our primary prince as the main focal point, but then you've got points where you've got his sister that you learn a lot about. You've got the head guard that you learn a lot about. You've got his half-brother cousin thing who's an asshole that you learn a lot about. And they've built all these connections with these characters that you know nothing about. It was a great movie.
So that was a question, but it came out as an explanation. So, yeah. But another fun fact, if I haven't ever mentioned this before, is me and Ian are 3D animators, or we took 3D animation in high school. One of the reasons we met, ha ha ha. Anyway, we took 3D animation in high school, so we always take a lot of 3D films and things like that, a lot more serious, and we dive into it deeply, and we're always curious about how they make things and how they actually put things together. So when we see CGI and 3D or claymation and different films like that, we're always so hyped and interested in them and curious about how everything works out. And, I 100% agree with Ian. It was all so well played out. Not to mention it was very symbolic for a lot of people, it being a movie. There was a superhero movie that, dare I say it, was all 100% about black people and the power and African and all that stuff. So it was one of the first times that a big company like Marvel has put together this entire movie that was so representative in the right way, in a good way. And it wasn't like stereotypical, or it wasn't like, just making fun of the situation. It wasn't like the Knuckles meme. It was just a situation of, look at all these powerful people. And like one of my favorite lines, which is actually in the trailer, is there's a point where the head guard and basic girlfriend is in the car and they're being shot at. And as they're shooting at them with guns, the head guard kind of shakes her head. I'm sorry, we're so bad with names, so forgive us, we'll put names down later. But she sees them shooting at the car and she shakes her head and says, guns, they're so primitive. And it's so funny when you think back to the fact that everyone thinks they're primitive and that they're low class and they're kind of but they look at the rest of the world that way because they actually have way more technology than anyone ever thinks they do. So I really, really loved the movie, and I felt like it was a perfect time during the year for me to shave my head, because I shaved my head before the movie, obviously, but it's like one of those, it feels a lot more proud now, but...
I just realized that line was a reference to Star Wars as well.
Was it?
Because in episode 3, when Obi-Wan's fighting Grievous, when he shoots him, he looks at his gun and tosses and is like so uncivilized.
That's funny. He has more connections to Star Wars than you think. Might I add, watching that movie felt like we were watching an African Star Wars. Like, not in the concept, but the whole area was so futuristic, high-tech. It felt like every scene that they go into a hangar on the Death Star, or like, you know, in general, where everything seemed so futuristic and cool that it felt like Star Wars every time, at least in my opinion. So, I took a few little clips and a short little thing while we were at the movies. I'm sure you see it, but that's about it. I just wanted to kind of get that energy out, and maybe it was a bad time because the hubby keeps falling asleep.
It's windy today.
Yeah, he doesn't do very well with wind, unfortunately. So, thank you guys so much for watching. That was a short little opinion thing, and I would love to eventually later do a Wakanda tribe makeup test thing. Probably at some point I need to go to the swap meet and see if I can find some jewelry to put together, and I'll probably wear this shirt too because this is probably the closest thing I'm gonna have to the armor aspect of it. But I need to go to the swap meet, find some jewelry, and see if I can recreate that makeup. So hopefully I can do that soon, and thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to see you guys later. Bye.
Bye. I'm dying.
Are you okay?